or 800-348-1007. Join us. 35192 to text. Cavaliers still in Miami. They head up against the Heat tonight. They beat them by 4 points the other night. They get another crack at them tonight. 8 o'clock is your tip-off here on MMS as we inch ever closer to the end of the regular season. Cavs Heat tonight on the Buzzard. 7:30. So now that pregame coverage will begin. Darius Garland is questionable. Now, I assume that they mean his player status.
Yes.
Not just him as a person.
Right.
Because he seems to be a pretty affable chap.
Yes.
And
that's what all the kids are saying about him.
Be
Darius Garland, one affable chap.
But I'm not a kid. I'm
I know,
a grown-ass man.
It's crazy that you're speaking the way they do.
I'm a grown-ass man. And I speak the way a grown-ass man speaks. He's an affable chap. I would think it would be downright libelous or slanderous, rather, to just call him questionable in general. So I'm going to assume that they mean that he may or may not play tonight. Hey, you want to feel old?
Yeah.
Speaking of the kids,
Speaking
of the people who used to be kids, you know who Ben Savage is?
Yes.
He is Fred Savage's younger brother. He was the
Boy
star of a
Meets
show,
World.
Boy Meets World. I didn't watch that show, but I know a lot of you 90s kids did.
I did.
I did too.
Well, Ben Savage is now 42 and running for Congress.
As a Republican, I'm guessing, right?
No, he's a Democrat.
Okay.
He's a proud Californian. He's a union member. He's, SAG-AFTRA. And he wants to represent District 30 out there in California. And so he has decided that, the headline I wrote was, Boy Meets World becomes, can you guess what they said?
Man Meets Congress? I don't know. Nailed it?
Man Meets Congress. Of course you nailed it. So Ben Savage did a show called Boy Meets World for you olds. For how long was that show on? 10 years?
Yeah, about 10 years.
Around there.
Yeah.
So he's running for, Adam Schiff out there is running for Senate.
And then there was Girl Meets World that was on for 3 or 4 years.
That
Oh,
sucked.
yeah?
So I heard.
Well, what was Girl Meets World?
That was where he was grown up
He had
and
a
his
son.
daughter.
Or daughter. It's called Girl Meets World. But yeah, Corey had a daughter
With
with
Topanga.
Topanga.
Oh, so they did a show where they were grown people and they had a kid. I
They
see.
always try and do that, and it's never like the same. Like they had That's So Raven when I was growing up, and then now that I'm an adult, they have like Raven's house, which Raven's now a mom with a daughter. Like she has a daughter living with her best friend Chelsea, and I think she has a daughter too. Or like I didn't see the whole TV show, but it got canceled because it doesn't fit. There's too much context needed for that. Like
Also, the terrible name for it, they should have called it A Murder of Ravens.
That's crows.
Damn it.
Bill
Bill
Squire
Squire.
at the Funny Stop, Cuyahoga Falls, March 31st
Murder
and
of
April 1st.
crows. Yeah, I guess
Murder
a
of
raven.
crows.
What do they call a bunch of ravens?
I don't know. A Simone of ravens? I don't
That's
know.
not bad.
Yeah.
Raven Simone.
A group of ravens is called a
Whatever happened?
flock of ravens is called an unkindness? That can't be right. An unkindness, because in the 19th century, when people were really smart, they thought that the birds weren't all that caring.
We don't care about birds. Why would they care about us?
Well, they're all drones. They're not supposed to care. They are cold, faceless, emotionless robots.
People who have birds as pets, they're different types of people.
Yeah, I guess.
Like that's just a different type of pet. Like
What's a noisy pet?
It's a noisy pet, but like you have to. Those people, they don't just have a bird and just
Those people. Listen to you.
It is those.
You're
people,
a birdist.
Those people who have birds as pets. One does not just feed a bird and leave it in the cage. They have an emotional connection to that bird. That bird's on their shoulder. It's just flying around the house. It's pooping everywhere.
You're supposed to have an emotional attachment to your pet.
But there's some like a turtle. Like you're not taking out a turtle out of its cage every day and letting it walk around.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. They have
they
turtles.
do.
Yeah.
Not everyone does, but birds are different. Bird people are just different types of people. They're like Jeep people.
My wife's a Jeep person.
I didn't say there's anything wrong with being a Jeep person. I just said there are different types of people. I like Jeep people.
Well, I think that it's like anything else. A person. I don't know what draws a person to a bird as opposed to another kind of animal. I've never understood people who were drawn to reptiles.
See, I want a monkey.
You got to have a hot lamp on them the whole time. You got to be feeding the mice, whatever it is. Some people like a really labor-intensive pet, I guess. And then the exact opposite end of the spectrum, you have people who want cats, which is like breathing furniture. They don't want to do any work. They just want to not feel so alone in the universe. They go, well, I'll get something that will never acknowledge me, but I know I won't be by myself with my own thoughts. You should get a bird, Poundcake. Should test out this theory. See if maybe you are that kind of person. You assume you're not, but you don't know that. You might be a bird person. You might be a budding ornithologist. But anyway, Ben Savage is going to run for Congress. And just so I'm clear, that girl in that show was supposed to be cute, right?
Yeah.
Topanga? Okay.
You don't find Danielle Fishel attractive?
No. But listen, it was a different breed of person back then. And
well, she was like a hippie kid, too.
What's going to do with her looks? Listen, the kids, they want to be famous. And so back then you went on an audition and had fun. And you should try to, maybe you become a bird person, Poundcake. You considered that?
You don't think she's attractive?
Danielle Fishel? I do not. But listen,
maybe it's just
doesn't matter what I think.
I think
the show's not even on television anymore. Doesn't matter what I think. Didn't she have something in real life where like her husband was? God, didn't she have some mishigas in real life?
I know Jodie Sweetin from.
Oh no, I know what it is. She's married to Jensen Karp. That dude who was getting called out for like grooming all of his girlfriends back in the day. You know who Jensen Karp is? I don't know what he does now, but he was a rapper. He called himself Hot Carl or some nonsense like that. And he wrote for a couple of TV shows. I think he wrote for WWE Raw. And he kind of made the rounds. He's been around for a minute. And he's married to Danielle Fishel, and he got blown up a couple years ago because all these girls he used to date were like, yeah, this guy used to call me names and push my head into the wall. And I feel like it kind of blew over.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that's when she was back in the news for that. And she's like, of course, I stand by my husband.
I remember this now. He tweeted out something about the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's right.
Having shrimp tails in it.
He went viral on a prank, and all these women came out of the woodwork and were like, ha, 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 this guy used to cut me when we had sex, that kind of stuff. So, listen, be careful what you ask for, kids. You want to go viral, you make sure you got no skeletons. Alan, you guys were talking about Ghostbusters yesterday. As Poundcake realized the most recent one was the Paul Rudd one. Not the girls one. Listen, I happen to like the most recent Ghostbusters, but even I forgot it happened. I forgot that there was a Ghostbusters with all the Stranger Things kids in it and Paul Rudd. And I forget who the female lead was in that. But who was the mom? It's called Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I forget who the mom was in that movie, but she was she's pretty cute, if memory serves. Because they basically took a bunch of the kids.
Carrie Coon.
Right. How could I forget? She's from out there in Copley, Ohio.
That's
Carrie
right.
Coon. Married to the great playwright Tracy Letts. Man, she's foxy. I think she's a fox. We do have the After Hours line back up and running, by the way. So if you want to leave us voicemails, do it. It is 216-986-8903.
Hey, Alan. Trucker John, self-appointed king of I-71 and the one and only bureau chief of I-71 North and South. As far as Poundcake smoking crack, Bill, I think that's a brilliant idea. Him and his date should smoke at least 2 rocks apiece on the way to the venue. And I also need your opinion on this, Bill and Alan. Should Poundcake and his date, on their way to the Whitney Houston venue, split a bottle of Mad Dog 2020? Do you think that is a yay or a nay? Personally, I think they should, but that's just me. From I-71 South, downtown Columbus, this is Trucker John. signing off.
That's very formal.
I love that.
Thank you, Trucker John. He's out there. He is the undisputed bureau chief there of I-71, the king of I-71. He's suggesting that Poundcake and his friend smoke 2 rocks on the way to a show.
I don't know
drink
much about crack, but
Mad
I feel
Dog?
like smoking 2 rocks apiece, it's quite a bit of crack to smoke.
Especially if I've never done it before. Why did I do all this, like, working at Orange Theory Fitness just to, like, ruin my heart health? I'm not going to do that.
It's one night of crack smoking is not going to ruin your heart.
Not now, down the road.
They always say that. Now, I don't know this for a fact because I have never tried it, but I hear once you do something like crack that's highly addictive, or meth, or even to coke, then you're automatically addicted. Is that true?
It's not true.
No.
We've talked about this. You
You
don't
bad
get
people.
addicted the first time you smoke anything.
I've done
They said,
cocaine and I'm not
It's
addicted.
not-
well, they said the high, like maybe like meth or heroin or something like that. They said the high is so intense that your body automatically gets addicted to it.
No, it's not how the body works. Listen, we're getting off track here. 2, what say you? 2 crack rocks on the way to the show. And for whatever reason, he pulled MD 2020 out of his ass. How do you feel about Mad Dog?
Again, I'm not
Red
educated
grape
enough
is
to know.
pretty, if they still make red grape, it's tasty.
What is Mad Dog?
You never had Mad Dog 2020?
No.
Well, they call it Mad Dog. The MD stands for the people who, there's a company called Mogan David that makes wines and things. And so,
Ooh, David.
but it's like 18% alcohol. And it comes in all these, it's kind of like Four Loko without the carbonation. Old school Four Loko.
Oh, okay.
Get some MD 2020.
I'm Googling it. Okay. I would try it. I don't know if I could drink a whole thing, but I'd try it.
Well, you'd have to split it with your boy.
Yeah, you share it with your
but
date.
again,
I
this
used
is
to
on
drink those jugs of Carlo Rossi all the time.
Carlo Rossi. Jesus.
Dude, I love those things.
Why? They were cheap?
It was the only, I wanted to get real messed up, and it was the only thing I could get through the
Woof.
drive-thru. So I would go through the drive-thru and get
Like a gallon for $8.
Dude, it was lit. It was so
Would
party
you take
store.
black dumps afterwards from the, like, were they super dark color from all the wine? Would you have like the stained teeth in the morning?
Oh, God, that sweet
wine
red
mouth?
wine. You
Yeah.
get bubble gut and red teeth.
I don't remember, but I know I was a hit at the party because I had the most alcohol, and I was walking around like it was just like a cup, and I had it just.
You were Borgen before Borgen was Borgen.
He
Yeah.
really was.
So
He was pre-Borgen.
I don't know what the difference was. People would slap the bag all the time. I just had carry the jug.
But it's a heavy glass jug.
Yeah, people wanted to take.
And
drinks on it.
what would you do? Just loop your finger through and hang it over your shoulder like a knapsack?
I would carry it.
Like you were Johnny,
Like a bindle.
like you were Johnny Sangria seed or something?
Yeah, or sometimes, at the time, I'm thinking, because this was before I could get quality alcohol, like at a liquor store, and I was going through the drive-thru. So I imagine I had a backpack because we were underage, so the cops couldn't stop you if you had a backpack on. They couldn't search you. So I imagine I probably carried a backpack with me, and it was in there. But yeah, that's what I used to
The
do.
cops couldn't stop you if you had a backpack on.
Because there's no probable. I'm a college student. There was no probable cause for them to search me. I had a backpack.
They make up probable cause all the time.
But the chances are they won't. I was one college student amongst many, and that was like,
you were also black.
okay, but I was around a bunch of white people, and they were going to save me.
They were going to say.
Don't you ever forget that.
He's black and gay. What is he going to do? He's not hurting anyone. Leave him alone.
You're welcome, preemptively.
You're bullying him.
Oh. Leave my friend alone. He's the one bringing the jug of Carlo Rossi tonight.
And honestly,
We need him.
I get an underage. Like, you get a ticket, or you do. Like, I wasn't drinking in the dorms, really. It was at a house party. So unless you're out looking stupid, like acting stupid, and had it like in your hand, people would care. They didn't. ID me
Okay,
on the
again,
street.
I don't know how they enforce things at the University of Akron. I don't know.
Well, I mean, not today. There wasn't a police presence. There was, but people were getting mugged and shot and robbed. So
Well, that's why I assume maybe they'd be checking a couple of backpacks here and there.
no,
All right.
they got bigger problems to worry about.
That's the sound of the police.
Like people getting shot and stabbed
And robbed.
and robbed. Yeah.
And mugged.
All of it.
Are mugged and robbed the same thing, or is that just? stuff
Well, I
taken
think
from you?
the mugging.
That means you get beat up.
Well, the mugging is so that they can rob you. If you get mugged and you don't have anything, they will mug you, hoping to rob you. But if you don't have anything, they can't rob you.
Okay, I thought robbed was they just take stuff from you. Mugged is they beat you up. Pistol
Just
whip you.
random beating? Yeah, but
No,
I don't think anybody's getting beat up unless they're trying to steal things from you.
I know, but there's some times where people walk up to you, like if someone came up to me and said, hey, give me your wallet, and, they threatened me with a gun or something like that, I would give it to them. I don't want to get beat up, so here, I feel like I got robbed. Mugged would be, they just run up on me, punch me in my face, kick me in my stomach, and then they take my wallet.
I think
That's mugged.
I think they're interchangeable.
Okay.
If somebody says, I got mugged, you would assume they had something taken.
Yeah.
Not that they got punched in the face.
Yeah, that's jumped.
Okay, but if I
And
got...
sometimes, giving them what they want, they'll still beat you up.
Yeah. But if I got robbed, you don't assume that that person got beat up. Mugged is both. Right?
I think they're interchangeable.
Okay.
Again, why don't you go back to Akron, stand on the corner with a backpack, and see which one happens?
No.
See if you get mugged and or robbed.
I would definitely get mugged and or robbed this time. I got lucky. I made it out alive. I was never in... No.
All right.
I would get mugged and beat up by people younger than me. That's even worse.
What, like school children?
No, the college students there now are younger than me, and they're about it. They're thugs. I'm not going down there and testing my luck. Hell no.
Go state your set.
Yeah, but if you're not causing trouble, they might just pass you by and go, oh, leave that nice old man alone. Don't get up in his face.
Nice old man.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got a good decade plus on those people.
He's trying to get into our bar, this old man. Leave him alone.
Everybody at the University of Akron talks like Mickey Mouse, apparently. Like that
Right.
dude out in East Palestine is coming into town to have a couple of pops.
I didn't realize how young freshman college students look until I was like a senior, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, but you don't age that much visually in 3 years. Between a senior and a freshman? I mean, freshmen, I guess, are kind of like glorified high school seniors.
I was gonna say they
But I don't know that you look that. Everybody in college usually looks young.
You're still finding your swag because you walk around with the lanyards on, and
Well, that's where a nice jug of Carlo Rossi over the shoulder will come in. That's how you broadcast your swag.
dude, I did have
Hey, everybody,
swag.
here comes the Sangria Kid.
I would pull it off. Like I was known as the Four Loko guy, the 151 and pineapple juice guy, and the Carlo Rossi. I was always getting or the Orloff, the cheap alcohol. I got you back. Like they
Yeah, but
knew.
everybody in college is getting cheap booze. How did that make you an outlier? Everybody's looking to spend the least amount of money to get rocked.
Yeah, but they would. Some people had higher standards and they wouldn't settle for the cheap stuff. Like everyone was getting alcohol underage, but they would have a plug.
Settle? It's what you can afford.
No, it wasn't a poor thing. It was I didn't have a plug to get me to like a liquor store. Because I wanted the 151 and pineapple juice, but you have to get that at a liquor store. I'm like,
But didn't you have a car?
Oh, you kids and your
It-
newfangled.
I
We
needed
were back in the day.
You
We
needed
were
an
poor
ID.
in college.
Oh, I'm still thinking.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
a
when you were-
freshman, sophomore year, I wasn't 21 until
Yeah, I
my
get
sophomore year. So there were people that were like, oh, I can go through the drive-through. They don't, they don't ID or whatever. And
You weren't 21 your sophomore year of college. Is that what you said?
I said freshman year and sophomore year, you're not. That's when I think I turned 21, right?
You turned 21 your sophomore year of college?
Unless I'm doing it wrong.
I was
But
19 my sophomore year of college.
I turned 19 my freshman year of college.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because you have a summer birthday, Alan. He's got like a fall birthday, so
yeah, I turned 19 right when I
So you turned
had freshman year.
you turned 18 your senior year. You were 17 going at the beginning of the year, and then of high school, and then turned 18.
I
In
was
September, like the first couple
16
weeks,
going
so.
on 17
Yeah.
in high school.
I don't know. Regardless, it was either my first 2 years of college or my first 3 years of college. I was, slumming it, drinking the sweet stuff to get drunk, and I was okay with that.
Well, but you made it through. And now
Barely.
you're no longer the Orloff guy or the Carlo Rossi guy or the whatever. You've gotten rid of all those dumb nicknames, and now you're just Poundcake.
I'm the White Claw guy.
Oh God, he is. He's the White Claw guy. So there's been a steady decline from college to where we are now.
Well, it's their fault. The 151 could have had my business. I would have totally been like a 151 spokesperson wearing the little Bacardi, bottle as a costume.
You should have written them a sternly worded letter.
I don't know why they got rid of it. That was my stuff. 151 and grape juice. It tastes just like wine. Stir it on up with a butter knife.
Stir it up with a butter knife.
Stir it up with a butter knife.
These two are never going to mix on their own. I need to stir it up with a thin piece of metal.
Fumes just
to
coming
make
off
sure
of it.
that all of the hydrogen and oxygen molecules can mix properly.
It melts your eyebrows. It's perfect.
I'll take your word for it. I've got a break here. If you'd like to send a text, 35192 to do that. If you'd want to watch, AlanCoxShow.com. And you can listen wherever you are on the iHeartRadio app.
Cleveland's biggest party.